June 19th, 2026, Chiron is going into Taurus for the first time in 50 years. Last time Chiron went into Taurus was 1976. 50 years later, we have it happening again, but there's a lot else going on in the sky that's very different than what was happening in 1976 and all through the late 70s and early 80s. Now, Chiron spends more time in certain signs because it has an elliptical orbit, so it spends more time in Pisces, Aries, and Taurus than it does in the rest of the zodiac. About 7 years in each of those signs, versus on the flip side, it spends like 3 or less years in Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, and then about 5 years in every other sign. I believe this to be because Chiron needs more time in those certain signs, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus right now for the collective in order for us to really heal themes related to those signs. Pisces, spirituality, death, our relationship with the unknown. Aries, the masculine. Needs a lot of healing, and we've been experiencing that the past 7 years in major ways. And Taurus, our money, resources, possessions, our value, our worth, all of those things to me are really what society is healing in major ways at this time. But I think the major thing about Chiron and Taurus that I haven't seen anyone else talk about is the human design of it. So for the last couple months, actually let me look that up. Let me look it up. Since around April of 2026, Chiron has been in gate 3 of human design, and it will stay there for almost another year. It will leave gate 3 for a little bit in January of 2027 and then go back into gate 3 around February, and it will be there until the summer of 2027. Now, gate 3 in human design is difficulty at the beginning, and it's a very melancholic gate. Like, it's a format energy, as we call it in human design. I have a whole blog post on my blog at astrologyhumandesign.com on the format gates. There's 9 of them. Yes, because they're all in the sacral and they connect to the root. So there's 9 format gates and format energies that make 3 format channels. And these energies are really depressive in nature. They're really melancholic. They are really this energy of feeling kind of stuck and having wave of doing and creating and putting things out there into the world and feeling in flow versus feeling like stuck in some sort of melancholic transformation and some sort of like physical mutation in a lot of ways. And it's this transitional energy. So it's really, if you have format energies, if you have any of these gates or channels in your human design chart, they really can be all encompassing because they connect, like I said, the sacral and the root, which are very strong channels and very strong energies of these kind of ups and downs. So the blog post is on the format energies, the depression gates in human design. You can go check that out at astrologyhumandesign.com/blog. It will walk you through what gates you have, what channels you have, and what it means, because there's a kind of specific depression or stuckness that each gate has. And gate 3, like I've mentioned, is difficulty at the beginning. So it can really show up as like this sense of confusion or this sense of feeling lost of what we're beginning, of what we're starting, right? And this has been going on with Chiron since April of 2026, about mid to end of April. With Chiron moving through this gate for most of the year, there is going to be intense visceral triggers and healing that comes up around self-doubt, around really trusting ourselves and our path. And kind of like the shadow or the unevolved side of that is questioning what we're doing, questioning what we're creating, questioning what we're putting out into the world, right? And so there's this sense of like new in all the ways. And we're all in this major collectively transition of a new life and a new chapter. And I feel like I've been talking about this most of the year. If you watch my weekly updates religiously, I feel like I say this in almost every single one of them, is that we are all embarking on this major new chapter, a major new phase of our life in so many ways. And that comes with liminal space. That is challenging. That's uncomfortable. That kind of forces us to sit in the unknown, right? And sit in like what we don't know yet. But with that is beauty, because the unknown is a part of life. Winter is unknown. Are the plants gonna come back? They're still alive underneath the surface, like underneath the soil. And we have to trust that they are gonna like rise again, right? So that really is an analogy we can apply to this part of life ourselves, is really trusting this process and really any voices that come in of self-doubt. Like I've even been facing this myself. I have the other end of the 3. So gate 3 in human design sits between the sacral and the root, and it connects to gate 60, which makes the channel of mutation the 360 channel or the 63 channel. You'll see it interchangeably. 360 channel, those two gates come together, make a channel. I have gate 60 in my human design chart. So whenever there's something in gate 3, it bridges that for me because I don't have a channel. I don't have a defined root center. So I have no channels connecting to my root because it's undefined. Whenever there's something in gate 3, it kind of bridges that where I'm missing, right? And kind of can create this energy of a definition of a channel in a way. Now, Chiron, the founder of human design would say that Chiron doesn't activate gates like all the other planets do, but I don't know. I feel like, especially in the format energies and in any of the gates connected to the emotional center, the solar plexus center, like Chiron does activate some things. I see it, I experience it, I feel it. And so anyways, I think that that school of thought is in my realm of teaching human design up for debate because I have experienced the opposite of that being true. And this is something as well that the founder of human design like wanted people to do, was to experiment and then come to their own decisions about certain things and like kind of change and transform the way human design is and taught. Because it's so new, it's still open for different styles of interpretation based around personal experience and experimentation, which is the whole point of human design. Anyways, all that to say is I have the other end of gate 3, which is gate 60. And I have found in my life that can really be a perpetual theme for me whenever I begin something new. Like there is this very unknown, there is this very liminal energy that comes with that. And there can be self-doubt that creeps in around that of like, should I really be doing this? Or is this really gonna work? And like for me, whenever I start something new, it's always been like quiet at the beginning. And this is a part of that melancholy too that comes with this energy, especially for all of us right now with Chiron here. Like there's a lot of wounds being illuminated within ourselves that if we haven't done the work around, if we haven't healed or loved these parts of ourselves that are questioning our worth or questioning our value, especially Chiron and Taurus. Like Taurus, I'm a Taurus, I have a Taurus stellium in my 8th house. Like I know Taurus energy well. And it is all about worth. It is all about value. It is all about seeing yourself as worthy and value and being embodied in that value and worth that you inherently have. So Chiron and Taurus in a major way is going to bring up those deeper set wounds or triggers that we haven't done the work or love around to heal within ourselves, to see our value, to see our worth, financial triggers, money wounds, relationship wounds as well around embodiment. Also possessions, material resources, food. So those are all major themes that are coming up with Chiron and Taurus. And we saw this in the mid-70s. There was that financial kind of crisis in the mid-70s that prompted a lot of people to clean up finances and heal certain things in different ways that there hadn't really been before, right? So we also had Chiron and Taurus in the 30s, and we had the Dust Bowl in the 30s. Not to say that any of this is going to happen again, because we have, again, different transits now that are complementing Chiron and Taurus in much different ways than they ever have before previously. But those are just some central themes we can kind of zoom out and see. Is there's going to be these triggers and these wounds around resources, around food, around money, and really at the end of the day, all that comes down to, do you see your value? Do you see your worth? And are you embodied in that? And are you embodied in the belief of being taken care of no matter what because of your inherent worth and value, right? So big theme of Chiron and Taurus in general is that. Big overall themes we're going to see with Chiron and Taurus is people having gardens, people really cooking more so from home than we have seen in the past decade or two. You know, everyone's so reliant on convenience food and DoorDash and eating out. And I think we're gonna see that really take a turn where people are more focused on eating at home, nutritional value, growing their own food, really healing themselves through that and being a little bit more economical as well. Like as someone who has a lot of Taurus in my chart, like I have lots of people with Taurus around me, like we can really either be super frugal or super like, I want nice things and I don't care how much it costs. But the kind of the balance of that is nice things, like bougie on a budget, right? And so when you cook your own meals at home and you grow your own food, it is bougie, but like on a budget, you know what I mean? So there's more of that energy we're gonna see, as well as people really kind of just doing more working with the land again, working with the earth. We're also gonna see a lot more people focused on herbal medicine, so that's gonna be a big thing. I really see trend. Gardening, major trend. Herbal medicine, major trend. So if you know herbalism or you know things about gardening, like freaking create content around it, because this is what's gonna thrive with Chiron and Taurus, as well as like financial advice, how to make money, how to start businesses. Every freaking Taurus I know is an entrepreneur. I'm not even kidding you. very successful with how they make money and what they do for work. So we're gonna see that as well. More entrepreneurs, more people wanting to have different side hustles that make them money in various ways. Diversifying income is something we're gonna see as well, based around passions, based around what brings you joy, what you just innately are good at or love to do. So we're gonna see that thrive with Chiron and Taurus. We're also gonna see the sensual pleasures thrive. Candles, again, herbs, things that smell good, things that taste good, things that feel good. We could see interior design changing, more earthy tones, more earthy colors, more blankets, pillows, rugs, like people more focused on cozy and creating cozy vibes for themselves, and people leaving traditional work structures behind. I mean, this is kind of where, like, I've been talking about with entrepreneurship emerging. We're seeing people leave traditional work structures behind because so many of us are realizing, like, that doesn't work for me. And it actually hinders me from having true success. So we're gonna see that too, like working smarter, not harder, and people leaving the traditional corporate 40-hour work week behind and stepping into, like I said, making money from their actual passions and joy, and people seeing that there's no glass ceiling with that. That's really, you know, one of another major trend I see coming with Chiron and Taurus. Healing around money, resources, how we make money. Could also be minimalism could become a trend again, but at the same time, there, you know, the shadow side of Chiron and Taurus, I talk about this in the blog post at astrologyhumandesign.com/blog, is that the shadow side of Chiron and Taurus is a little heightened materialism, heightened focus on material possessions and on nice things and on luxury. So, you know, I don't know, we could kind of see that as well come with this transit, but we're gonna see how it plays out. Aries is the beginner. Aries is the starter. It starts things. Taurus asks, okay, how do we sustain this? How do we build this? How do we keep this going, right? Those of you in my Become an Astrologer course know all about the zodiac wheel and how we go from Aries to Taurus. I teach that in my Become an Astrologer course. So if you already are a student, then you know how I teach the different zodiac signs in regards to the kind of stepping stones and the phases of life that they represent for all of us. So with Chiron, right? Chiron is the wounded healer, and I don't think Chiron gets enough attention in mainstream astrology from, like, many astrologers. I don't see enough people talking about the importance of Chiron, not only in the natal chart and your birth chart, which if you get a personal interpretation of your astrology chart with a life purpose report from my website, it breaks down your Chiron as well as your Black Moon Lilith and those themes that it has for you to learn and heal and grow through. But you know, not only in the natal chart, also in the collective transits, I think Chiron is really important to pay attention to and to be aware of what's going on with it at any given time, because it really does rule the phase of healing, the phase of growth and evolution in a major ways that we are in at the collective level. So I got off on a tangent there, but was talking about gate 3 and how it's shown up for me, and especially, like, I'm starting a bunch of new things. The main one being my mail club. I'm starting an astrology mail club. I'm so freaking excited about it, y'all. If you haven't seen my videos on social media about it yet, like, I'm so freaking stoked. This is what it's gonna look like when you receive it in the mail. Obviously there will be like postage and like the addresses and everything on the front here, but this is like when you open it, this is what it's gonna look like, and I'm so freaking excited about it. But I had a moment the other day of being like, because there's just been so many hiccups, like this is my first time doing anything physical like this, and so I've had to like design everything and then sample prints and figure out where's the best place to get like the paper printed and what's the best layout for the design for the paper so that it looks good when it gets printed. And like I actually had this whole thing happen where I did it wrong and got 100 pages printed from FedEx and they were wrong, and I had to like do it again. And so it really just had me questioning, like, you know, things are hard at the beginning, right? When we're starting anything new, it's hard. Like there's hiccups, we have to learn, we have to like trial and error, we have to experiment, we have to like, we make mistakes, right? You have to get it wrong to get it right. Especially when we're learning anything new, we're doing anything for the first time, like all of us are in various ways right now. There can be that like existentialism that comes with that of like, should I even be doing this? And oh my God, like why does this have to be this hard? Like we have those human emotional moments, right, of feeling that way when things get hard, but we have to bring ourselves back to, and this is the biggest theme of Jupiter and Leo, bringing ourselves back to what truly is in our highest excitement and our highest joy and passion, right? And how can we follow that above the voices of doubt, the voices of like existentialism? So anyways, more about the mail club. You're gonna get a letter with a, like, it's written by me. I actually found a typo on the document that I messed up that I got printed 100 pages on. So I'm like grateful that it happened because it like helped me to like fix some typos that I didn't even notice were there, rewrite some stuff, and like, anyways, it's fine, it's all divine, right? Always. But there's just, you know, we have those human moments that come up. So if you're a founding member of the mail club, you'll get this sticker, which I'm super excited about this sticker. I only have so many of them. So if you want to get mail for July, sign up and you'll get one of the founding member stickers. This is another sticker that's included. Of course, we have to have my favorite saying of all time. It's fine, it's all divine, with my logo there in the middle because there's Mercury retrograde in July. Survived Mercury retrograde. Just as a little funny thing. So there'll be fun stickers every month. There'll be a letter of like the transits, and then on the back there's space to reflect and to journal what's coming up for you during these transits and how you can make the most of it, and like just little reminders for you to stay focused on what matters. The evolved light positive side of these transits, right? I had someone look at all of this like who knows nothing about astrology, and they were like, wow, it's very positive, like it's very, like there's lots of positivity in this. And I'm like, you know what, there is, like thank you. You'll get a cool collectible postcard as well. For every single month there's going to be a different transit spotlight, and then there'll be like a collectible postcard for that, and then a calendar for the transits and important dates on the back with those transits kind of interpreted as well. Like there's just little, like for Mercury retrograde, like it says communicate your feelings with grace, right? So just little positive reminders of how to make the most of the upcoming energies, space to write about it as well, and then keep record for yourself so you can go back and look at, okay, what was coming up for me in July of 2026? Because we're gonna have Jupiter go retrograde. We're gonna have these things go retrograde, right? And so it's so important to like have space for yourself to look back on what was coming up for you, and then how you're moving forward with what was coming up that you reevaluated, right? It's really all retrogrades are. It's a space to reflect and reevaluate internally how that energy has shown up for you thus far. On the external, we take it internal and we reflect and reevaluate, right? That's what retrogrades are. There's lots of that with the mail, and it's like, I'm sending like a physical thing, y'all. I'm sending a physical thing. Like it's so, I have a Scorpio stellium in my second house. Obviously I'm meant to help people with physical things, and I've wanted to have like a physical subscription, like monthly. So this is a monthly subscription, $12.99. I've wanted to have like a physical subscription to send you things in the mail for years and years and years. Since I lived in Hawaii, I've wanted to have something like that where I sent people something every single month to work with the energy of the transits, and now it's here, right? And it showed up in a totally unexpected way. Like I had to delete TikTok and like have more storage on my phone, and then I had to re-downloaded it, and so my algorithm was all different, and it kept showing me all these mail clubs, and I was like, holy shit, this is a thing. Of course snail mail's coming back. Like also, y'all, these are the stamps I'm gonna be sending out. Like of course snail mail's coming back. Uranus is in Gemini. Of course people are gravitating towards physical things, slowing down, more intention, more long form content like YouTube videos, blog posts, Substack is blowing up, emails, reading, books, letters. Of course, like snail mail is blowing up because people want like more intentional things to get them off the internet. I mean, I know I do. That's what the mail club is. But I had this moment of like when things were kind of just not working out. There was the mistakes and the mishaps and blah, 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 blah. I had this moment because I'm human of being like, are people even gonna want this? Is this good enough? You know, like that self-doubt creeping in of like, this is new. This is something I've never done before. Is it gonna work out? Is it what I'm supposed to be doing? But again, just have to remind myself it's fine, it's all divine, and to come back to my excitement. Gave me so much excitement, y'all. I spent 3 whole days designing the postcards and the calendar and the stickers, putting it all together, like making the envelopes. Like I designed these envelopes, I designed these stickers. Every single piece of it has been like intentionally made by me, and so that just excited me to know and to spend like almost a whole week doing that. I have to just remind myself, like, yes, Kelsey, like, of course, this is gonna work out. And if it's not, like, it's all fine either way, but of course, like, this is something you're excited to do. So duh, it's gonna work out. And then a couple days ago, I sent out the international letters, and that felt just so surreal. I sent letters to Poland, Sweden, Norway, the United Kingdom, and Canada. Like, how freaking cool. Like, you are watching this and perhaps in a whole other part of the world and are gonna sign up and get a letter from me in your mailbox, like in a completely different country and part of the world. So freaking cool, right? So anyways, We all need those reminders. Like, we have to be our own hype woman right now, which is another big message and theme of Jupiter and Leo. We have to build ourselves up. We have to be our own cheerleader, okay? And our own support system of encouragement. And also with Uranus in gate 20 for the next year, gate 20 is all about the now. What are you focused on? What are you excited about right now? Not tomorrow, not yesterday. What are you, not 3 hours from now? What are you excited to do, to create, to focus on, to share, to put out into the world right now? Maybe it excites you to take a nap. Maybe it excites you to like go lay in the grass somewhere, you know? Maybe it excites you to reach out to a friend you haven't talked to. Whatever that is in the now, like, trust your instincts, trust your intuition for what is alive for you in the now present moments, because that's all that truly matters, right? And that's all we have to focus on. That's all really that exists if we want to get meta about it. But with Uranus in gate 20, like, change is going to happen in the now, innovation is going to happen in the now, breakthroughs are going to happen in the now. Everything that you're focused on creating is going to happen in the present moment. It's going to happen when you are following your excitement and your joy and letting that lead you to the next moment, right? I had an experience a couple months ago where a new friend that I had made in this new state that I had never been to before, that I now live in and is now my home, a wonderful woman reached out to me on social media and was like, hey, I saw that you moved to my town. Like, I followed you for a while. Like, I'm super into astrology too. We should hang out. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. And then I ended up seeing her around town, right? This is what I mean. It's like everything that you're gonna align with, everything that's meant for you is gonna happen in the now. Classic example of what I'm talking about is like things that are meant for you, even if the idea comes and you can't take action on it right away, it will happen when it's meant to happen, when you follow the series of events that lead you to that thing happening, right? It will all work out in perfect divine timing, just as it needs to, when you allow yourself to stay focused and present in what's alive for you at this moment that will lead you to the next, right? And I'm writing a book. It's kind of already written, and that's gonna kind of be what the book is about, is how like these series of events lead us to the thing that we want. And it's all about the journey, not the destination. Like, that's kind of the overall theme of the book. More self-help, like spiritual focused book, and there are some astrology and human design things intertwined into it. But yeah, that's the main gist of it, is like how to follow your intuition and let that lead you moment to moment, and really surrender to how or when or all of that stuff that our mind wants to focus on, right? And wants to create this like turmoil and existentialism around when it doesn't need to, because that's not the mind's job. That's not the mind's, like, if we use the mind as a tool, that's not like what it's best for. Like, that's what your intuition is for. Your intuition is for knowing when and how to do things, because that's what like your innate guidance system is, leading you to the thing that's meant for you. And this is what I love about human design, is it gives you practical instructions for how to trust your intuition that's leading you to alignment. But anyways, this is a whole other like video perhaps we're getting into at this point. Back to Chiron and Taurus. So I have a blog post I wrote about Chiron and Taurus that's on my blog at astrologyhumandesign.com/blog. Gives you more of the details and the dates of the retrograde cycles of Chiron for this year, specifically because Chiron moves into Taurus on June 19th, but it will move back into Aries. It will go retrograde and move back into Aries on September 17th. I believe it goes retrograde. I don't have that date off the top of my head, maybe sometime in August, July or August. And then it moves back into Aries on September 17th, and it will be in Aries again as a last hurrah from September 17th of 2026 until April 14th of 2027, when Chiron goes back into Taurus, and it won't move out of Taurus until I believe 2033, which is crazy to say out loud. So those are the important to know dates for Chiron and Taurus. Now we're gonna get into the horoscopes. I had a couple y'all ask me about this, so it's also on my blog, but we'll go into a little bit more detail in this video. And it's gonna go based on your rising sign, because your rising sign is the foundation of your chart. It is what creates your houses. So that's what we go off of for horoscopes, is your rising sign. That is the most accurate. If you don't know your birth time though, or you don't know your rising sign, then yes, you can go off your sun sign, because basically what we're doing when you go off your sun sign is we're making your sun sign your rising sign. Whether it is or not, we don't know if you don't know your birth time. But that's what you can do. And that's why pop astrology uses a sun sign, because apparently it's too much to explain to people the rising. But I feel like astrology has become so mainstream and so much more known that now it's like, okay, we don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to treat people like they're dumb and they can't handle the information. Like, most people these days know what the rising sign is, or at least a little bit about it, if you're into astrology at all. So anyways, that's why we go off that for horoscopes. Okay, Aries rising, now that you've done the healing in your sense of self and identity for the last 7 years, it is time to take that into embodiment, into your possessions, your worth, your value, how you make money, your actual money, maybe the things you are surrounding yourself with, food, your relationship with food, resources, material possessions in general. Some of you might be really downsizing or decluttering or selling things that you don't use, that you don't value around your house or in your life, that you're just like, I had this one hobby for like 2 months and I still have the stuff from it, but do I really need it? No, probably not, right? So Chiron in your second house is going to be a really big theme of you healing any residual wounds there are around your value, your material possessions, your resources, how you make money, and what you do with that money that you make. Also, like I said, your relationship with food and your worthiness, your inherent value. Could also bring up a lot of themes around changing your long-term goals, your long-term vision around money, or vice versa. Taurus rising, this is all about healing of your sense of self and your identity, really choosing to be more embodied in the changes that you have experienced over the last 7 years. It is time to really bring that into who you are, how you present yourself, how you dress, your appearance, how you view yourself, your literal identity. And this healing that starts with you and is focused on you is going to ripple out into every single other area of your life. So this could look like really stepping into a new version of yourself, dressing differently, getting really focused on, okay, what makeup suits me best, what hairstyle suits me best, what hair colors, you know, getting your color palette done, like really focused on how do I support my appearance to be the best version of myself, because that also, it ties deeply into your confidence. Another part of that as well is like really being embodied in your worth and your inherent value, and maybe embodied in what you're worthy of as far as money, resources, and possessions as well. A lot of healing to you gonna take place. Gemini rising, Chiron's moving into your 12th house. This is major healing of your mental health, your spiritual gifts, the things unseen. If you know any Taurus risings in your life, look to kind of what was going on for them in their area of mental health or subconscious healing, past life healing perhaps, like spiritual healing. Really doing the deep inner work is going to be a major theme moving forward, Gemini rising, for you with Chiron and Taurus. Could really bring up a lot of inner wounds or themes like we talked about around self-worth, value, how you make money, what you do for money, what you allow yourself to receive, what you view yourself as being worthy of receiving, and then doing with what you receive that supports you. And maybe becoming more embodied in your spiritual practices more so than ever before as well. Cancer rising, Chiron's going to be moving through your 11th house of community, friendships, long-term goals, visions, social media. So there could be a lot of healing around those themes for you taking place over the next 7-8 years. Lots of healing around what you're contributing to society, how you're sharing your gifts, your role, maybe to your community, with your friends, with social media, on social media, stepping more into, no, this is what I'm worthy of, this is what I deserve, within how you share your gifts to your community as a whole. And maybe lots of healing as well around what friendship means to you and what community and friendship looks like and feels like. Leo rising, Chiron is moving into your 10th house. This is healing, major healing around your reputation, your image, your career, and how you've been showing up there, what you're embodied in as far as sharing yourself or being seen in the public space, in the public eye, or even when you go out and about into the world, like how are you seen, how are you perceived, being more embodied in this version of yourself that's worthy of what you want or what you already have or what you can naturally create and share, attract, magnetize to you. It's embodiment of how you are perceived from the outside world and what you are known for in the outside world. So this could look like a major change of what you're doing in career. This could look like you stepping into a new path with career, maybe helping people with financial healing or with money or with healing around worth, healing around resources, maybe healing around food, those types of themes as well. You could really start to step more into sharing these gifts in your career that you've already dealt with in your life. Virgo rising, Chiron moving moving through your 9th house in Taurus is healing of your perspective. It's healing of your mindset and becoming more embodied in maybe these things that you talk about, these philosophies of life that you have, but maybe you haven't lived in certain ways. It's really lining up your mindset, how you view life, with how you live and go about your life. This could also be healing through international travels or investing in higher education of some sort, really investing in a higher path of knowledge, a higher path of wisdom through experience, or through having a mentor, having a teacher that really kind of shows you the way in terms of being embodied in what you're doing. This could also look like you stepping into a teaching role related to embodiment or related to worth, related to value, related to money perhaps as well, and stepping more into spiritual gifts around that, and teaching, hosting classes, really kind of doing any work within yourself of like your mindset as it relates to your value and your worth when it comes to those things, right? Like if you don't believe in yourself in terms of like how much knowledge you have to share and teach with the world, this is gonna really be the transit that heals your mindset around believing in yourself and what you can give back to society or your community, and what you can really teach and share as far as your wisdom that's tied into your inherent value and worthiness. And perhaps will make you a lot of money. Libra rising, Chiron moving through your 8th house is healing themes of deep psychological transformation, emotional intimacy, and vulnerability. This could also look like lots of healing around shared resources or merging with other people, merging with other people's resources, or borrowing money from others. There could be a lot of focused healing on debt, taxes, investments. This is really going to kind of push you to heal those wounds, if you have any, around those themes within your life. Your occult knowledge, perhaps, spiritual gifts, spiritual abilities. There could be a lot that comes up, if you like unhealed witch wounds, perhaps, of like really healing anything that is left underneath the surface that hasn't been healed or looked at or loved on about your inherent value. Themes of vulnerability, intimacy, and money you perhaps have borrowed or gained from other people. Could also be healing tied into investments or inheritances, if that applies as well. Scorpio rising, Chiron moving through your 7th house is relational healing. It is healing of all types of relationship dynamics, really becoming more embodied in your worth and your value as it relates to how you show up in relationships, what you need from other people in your life. This isn't just romantic. It could also be, if you are in a committed partnership or marriage, it could be that, and lots of healing within that dynamic. But it could also just be relationships of all kinds in general. There's a lot that's going to come up around healing your worth, healing your value, seeing it in terms of what you give and provide to other people, and vice versa. You might attract a lot of dynamics that kind of reflect to you perhaps wounds, relational wounds that you haven't yet addressed, loved on, and evolved out of, in order to have better relationships in general within your life that feel better, that feel more embodied, that feel more supportive, and perhaps are more monetarily, like financially supportive as well moving forward. Sagittarius rising, Chiron in Taurus for you is going to be deep healing around your work, your physical health, what you do on a daily basis to provide for yourself and to take care of yourself in deeper ways. There's going to be this very visceral way in which you become more embodied in what you do for work, what you do for money, your physical health, your physical healing. There could be certain practices you take up. There could be a lot of relational healing with food, with working out, with, again, what you do to take care of your physical health or work in general, and having more of a work-life balance than maybe you ever have had before, and learning how to maybe relax a little bit more when it comes to receiving in your life as well, like working smarter, not harder kind of thing. Capricorn rising, Chiron in Taurus for you is going to heal a lot of themes of embodiment and worthiness related to your creative passions, your creative pursuits, perhaps dating and romance as well, and being more embodied in this healed version of you moving forward in those themes. Could also relate to children if that applies, or wanting to have children. This could be something that really heals you, or that you heal within yourself around in terms of your vision for children or a family moving forward. Doesn't have to be though. There could just be like lots of children you're spending more time around that help you to heal and kind of embody more of a playful side of yourself, or that is more creative, that is more passionate and more trusting of your value and your worthiness when it comes to sharing your creative passions with the world. So there's going to be a lot of healing around that, perhaps receiving money for your creative passions, pursuits, and projects, as well as healing food or getting more creative with food in some sort of sense as well, or material possessions, resources in general. Aquarius rising, Chiron in your 4th house is going to heal a lot of themes related to home, family, childhood, these deeper kind of wounds within your inner world, these deeper archetypes within yourself that come from your childhood, perhaps a father figure or a mother figure. There could be lots of healing around embodiment in those things. This could also look like healing themes around money related to your home, related to family in some sense as well. But I feel like for most of you, this is going to be deep healing of worthiness and value from early childhood stuff, and really stepping more into seeing your inherent value and worthiness. Like we talked about in the beginning of the video, the overall meaning of Chiron and Taurus is really healing this part of yourself that doesn't see you as worthy or valuable of what you want, especially that's going to be provided for financially with resources. So there could also be spending more time at home, wanting to set up more routines at home, wanting to have like a full ass garden set up, really more focused on your inner world and more focused on providing for yourself in your home and your immediate surroundings, and perhaps for your family as well if that applies. Pisces rising, this is healing around your ideas, your information, and how you share those things, how you communicate yourself. This is really healing of the throat. The throat chakra, like really speaking up for yourself, sharing your needs, and really coming from a place of embodiment in your inherent value and worthiness for speaking up for yourself, for being seen, for being heard, for sharing your information or your ideas, for putting yourself out there in these ways to make money, to receive resources in whatever ways that you are needing with what you're doing long term for yourself. There's a big focus on coming from a place of embodiment, embodied healing with how you share yourself, how you present yourself, how you communicate not only to other people around you, but also how do you communicate to yourself that is more encouraging, more supportive. There could also be healing with siblings or neighbors, come through people in your local surroundings, who you talk to, where you go on a daily basis, could also provide you with a lot of healing, maybe working with a practitioner that lives near you to do somatic therapy kind of thing. Really embodied healing, okay, is going to be the theme for you with this Chiron and Taurus transit. So let me know your rising sign. Let me know how this resonates with you. Come back and let me know throughout Chiron's movement through Taurus. All the links for the things I mentioned are in the description box, so check those out. Go to astrologyhumandesign.com as well and peruse my blog. I have a lot of value and content there that you can just get lost in. So if you want to learn astrology and human design from me, check that out. And also check out my membership and my courses, and I'll see you inside or in the next video. Bye!